Hi, I'm Nancy O'Neill and welcome to Suncoast FYI. Today we welcome the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, the Urbanite Theatre, and the Van Wezel right here on Suncoast FYI. Founded in 1999, the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission is Florida's government agency that manages and regulates our state's fish and wildlife resources. Adam Brown, the Senior Public Information Officer with the FWC, is here with me now to share helpful preparation tips for dealing with hurricane season in our beautiful Sunshine State. Thank you, sir, so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Important subject we're going to talk about today. Boat safety. What can our viewers do to prepare their boats before a hurricane hits, and what supplies do they need to have on hand?
That's a great question, Nancy. So in this area, we certainly have a high number of boaters, a lot of boaters that actually live on their vessels part-time or year-round. And so it's very important to create a plan early on. You don't want to get caught up in having to struggle to get some of these items in place and secure your vessel when the storm is already imminent. So sure. Trying to create that plan, figuring out what the best location is for storing your vessel. Obviously, it's not ideal to keep your vessel on the water, tied to a dock or on a lift. You're going to be much more subject to strong winds, strong storm surge, as well as heavy rains, and it's much more likely that your vessel could become damaged or maybe damage somebody else's property. Okay. Make that plan early on, get the vessel to a safer location, and certainly getting some of those supplies that you may need to secure your vessel early on. Some of those things like extra dock line, anchors, anchor chain, duct tape, some of those things that may be difficult to find in stores as the storm is already approaching.
Okay. So you don't recommend people going further out into the Gulf?
Not at all, no. So we certainly want to make sure that nobody stays on their vessel when that storm is coming, or even when the storm is here. That's going to be the last option. We want to make sure that every person is off the boat and safely on shore somewhere to ride that storm out and potentially to get out of the area, out of the path of the storm.
Okay. Now, what if somebody is a liveaboard? What if they're on a liveaboard boat? Then what do they do, sir?
Yeah, so the best option, if you cannot get the vessel off the water, do your best to secure that boat. Use more than one anchor. Make sure you extend that anchor line and chain. We suggest at least 10 times the length of the mean depth of where you're anchoring that boat. That way, if that storm surge does rise, you should have enough length in that to where you'll be okay. But certainly getting that person off of their boat, I know that that's often their home, but find another option. Do not stay on your boat. Go to a hotel, go to a friend or family member, or if you need to go to a shelter, but get off the water. Okay.
Now to switch gears a little bit here, what about the wildlife in the area? What if an animal needs help during a hurricane? What if a manatee is stranded? Who does someone call and how do we help them?
That's something we see nearly every storm season. We have manatees that will get stranded. We have other marine mammals that will get injured or stranded, as well as our land mammals as well. And so do not try and help that animal on your own. That's going to probably cause more harm than good. We certainly encourage the public to call our wildlife alert hotline, and that number is 1-888-404-3922. We'll go ahead and send an officer, a biologist, or a licensed rehabber out to assist and make sure that it's properly handled.
Okay. So now that the storm has passed, as a boat owner, what type of steps do you need to take?
So you're going to have to go out and assess the situation and make sure that it's safe to get onto your boat if your boat is on the water. And if so, go ahead and take photographs, determine if you've got any damage and try and rectify that as quickly as possible. the marine environment can be very unforgiving. And so if you have a hole in the hull of the vessel or damage to that boat, very quickly you can cause damage to the environment and you can lose your boat, and it could end up becoming a derelict vessel, and that's what we're trying to avoid. So you want to quickly get out there and fix that situation.
Okay. And just to go back here a bit, what if the animal that you see is injured? Is it called the same hotline number?
Yeah, so oftentimes a lot of people might find small or young wildlife that they believe are either injured or maybe even orphaned because of the chaos that happens in some of these storms. It's very rare that that animal might actually be orphaned. However, it is possible, but we certainly do not want to encourage anybody to try and go approach that animal or collect that animal. Please go ahead and call that number that we provided before. We will send someone that is qualified and can safely determine whether or not that animal needs to go to a rehab facility.
Okay. What if it is something more like a pelican or a seagull or a bird? Should they call the bird sanctuary, or should they still call you first? Should you be your first
Either
point of
one is
contact?
fine. So we work really well with a lot of different partners throughout our region here and throughout the state. So if you've got a local rehabber that you've worked with before or you're familiar with, please go ahead and reach out to them. We certainly suggest that. Otherwise, calling that wildlife alert number is going to be a great first step, and we can either get out there ourselves or we can contact one of our partners.
All right. Thank you so much. One more time before we close, what is the contact number that our viewers can call?
It's the Wildlife Alert Hotline. It's 1-888-404-3922.
Great. Thank you so much for being here and for, providing such a great service for all of us.
Yeah, I'm happy to. Thank you, Nancy. I appreciate it.
Coming up, I sit down with Lea Sevola, the star of the Urbanite Theatre's newest production, so please stay tuned. My next guest is the star of the Urbanite Theatre's ongoing show, Athena. And here with me now is Lea Sevola, the lead character in Athena, to tell us how and when we can see this wily, entertaining comedy. Well, it sounds like you have a very fun role.
I do, yes.
A very active role, which we'll learn more about.
Yeah.
But what is Athena about overall?
Yeah,
Lea?
great. So it's about two high school fencers. One of them is named Athena, one of them is named Mary Wallace, and they come together and decide that they're going to train together because Athena sees that Mary Wallace is a really worthy opponent. So she's like, let's train for nationals together. So throughout the play, we get to see how they interact with each other as teammates and opponents, and how they interact as possibly friends as well.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, so you had to learn how to fence for this.
Yeah. So
How did you train for that?
It's interesting because this is sort of a blend between fencing, which is its own sport, obviously, and then also stage combat, because we have to be keeping each other safe on stage. It needs to be something we can do 6 times a week, So we had a fight choreographer come in, and we did sort of a fencing boot camp. We learned the basics about, the weapon that we're using and, the way we're supposed to move, in the fight. And then we also blended that with some stage combat concepts so that the way that we're hitting each other is not going to harm each other after several performances. Because in fencing, you do actually have to make contact in order to get a point. Whereas in stage combat, normally it's choreographed so that you're not hitting each other, so that you keep each other safe.
All right. Yeah. Now, are you dressed up in full gear
when
you're doing this? Okay.
Yeah.
So it is safer in
Absolutely.
that respect. You're not like swashbucklers.
No. Yeah. We're like head to toe protected. We've got the mask, a glove, and a bunch of layers.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, what do you think the audience would enjoy and learn from this play?
So I think what's really great is it's a play about 2 young women, which you don't often see, right? It's just about female friendship, which is really lovely. Also, it's funny. Like, it's very silly at times and a lot of fun. But it also touches on some big questions of what happens when you make a big decision as a high schooler, and how does that affect the rest of your life? And so these girls are going through a lot, and I think that the audience will be able to identify with themselves at that age.
So it's about learning how to get along with one another, relate to one another, and accept one another.
And the conflict between having someone as an opponent, but also trying to be friends with them. Like, what does that mean? We're supposed to be fighting each other, and one of us is always going to win, and one of us is always going to lose.
Yes.
But I also think I want you to be my friend. How do we deal with that? Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots to think about.
Definitely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, what is the set for something like this?
Yeah. So
Where's
the
it
Urbanite
set?
Theatre is a 60-seat theater black box, so it's already a very small, intimate space. And in fencing, you fence on what's called a piste, P-I-S-T-E. It's a big, long, rectangular sort of platform that you fence on. So the set is the long piste. So we're basically just like fencing on the stage the entire time, or like sitting and chatting on the piste throughout the show.
Okay, so that's it. It's pretty much just an intimate conversation
Absolutely.
between the two of you, or you're being opponents.
Yes, that's exactly right. Yeah.
How can our viewers go to find tickets, and how long is the show running, dear?
Yes. So the show itself is 70 minutes long, and there's no intermission. Quick in and out. And we run, today is Thursday, well, I guess, so we run Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday at 7:30, and we run Saturday and Sunday at 2, and you can get tickets at urbanitetheatre.com. Yeah.
Now we have a little time left. Tell us
Yes.
about you a little bit,
Sure.
and how you got into acting and where else you perform.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm originally from Randolph, New Jersey. I've lived there my whole life, and I went to Ithaca College and I got my BFA in musical theater. So I work in mainly theater. I work in the New York area. I've done theater contracts all over the country. I've been to Oregon and Michigan, and here I am in Florida. I've worked in New York City as well. I've been overseas also doing theater work, and I just feel very lucky to be able to do it
How
as my
exciting.
job.
Now,
Yeah.
how did you know? How young were you when you decided you wanted to do this?
Quite little. I've always been a singer. Like my mom always says, like I could sing before I could talk. So I always knew I wanted to be a performer. I saw my first Broadway show when I was 6 years old, and I pointed at the stage at intermission, and I looked at my mom and I was like, I want to do that. Yeah.
Wow.
So there was no other option. This is
I
it.
know,
Yeah.
I love it, and
Yeah.
I think that again that speaks to women in general, or gentlemen as well. But I mean, if you're passionate about something, you really should pursue it, because you don't know where it will take you.
Exactly.
And you can always take another path if that one doesn't work.
Yeah,
But go
exactly.
after what you're passionate about.
Definitely.
So
Yeah.
good for you.
Thank you so much.
And continued success.
Thanks, I appreciate that.
All right. Thanks for being here, Jeff.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Up next on Suncoast FYI, I'm joined by Muffy Lavens from the Van Wezel to discuss Friday Fest, so don't go anywhere. If you're looking for an amazing free outdoor concert on the Suncoast, then look no further than the Van Wezel. My last guest is Muffy Lavens, the Public Relations Director for the Van Wezel, and she's here to tell us all about their annual Friday Fest, which is so exciting.
Very exciting.
Because we haven't had it in a while. But first tell our viewers, what is Friday Fest, Muffy?
So Friday Fest is a outdoor summer concert series that takes place on the lawn of the Van Wezel overlooking Sarasota Bay. It's gorgeous. It's a really, really fun time for everyone, and it's free. I cannot express that enough, that you can come out, join us on Friday nights, and take in a summer concert as you watch the sunset across
Is
the
it
bay.
every Friday night?
No, it is one Friday a month. So our next one is July 15th. And we will have Kettle of Fish performing at that
Ooh,
one. So they're a local fan
great.
favorite.
Yes,
yeah.
yes. So can you bring chairs? Can you bring coolers? What's the protocol?
Yeah, so we welcome you bringing your own chairs, blankets, kind of whatever to make yourself comfortable on the lawn. We don't allow coolers, but we do have food trucks So you can, go ahead and grab a snack from one of those up in the Van Wezel parking lot circle.
Okay. And how about refreshments?
Yep, so we have a bar set up. There's beer, there's wine, there's liquor. So you can grab a cocktail, enjoy the music, have a snack, and just have a really fun evening out.
And what time is this?
5 to 9.
And I'm sure they take a break and continue on.
So we have a exciting raffle that takes place when the bands go on their break. When you come, you can donate to Friday Fest. That keeps it free. And when you donate, you get a whole bunch of raffle tickets, and you can win amazing prizes from our sponsors who are great and, again, help us keep Friday Fest running. So, last month we were able to give away tickets to the Big Cat Habitat. We had some hotel stays. We had some nice bottles of wine. So there's a whole variety of things that you could win.
Okay. I like it. It's just, what a great night.
It is. It's a really fun way to spend your summer evenings here in Florida.
Sure. Okay. Now, it's been 2 years. What's the response been like since you've brought them back?
It's been incredible.
I'm sure.
We kicked it off last month, and we had nearly 1,000 people come out. We had a huge successful raffle. The food trucks were thrilled with how many people came to, snack on their different items. We had a ton of fun. Everyone enjoyed themselves.
Oh, gosh. Well, we've already kind of gone through what to expect and what to see. So this is going on, like people can sit and listen to the music, or they can get food, so they can wander around during this period of time. What's one of your favorite things to do?
I am busy bouncing around, seeing what people are doing, kind of getting that fan response. I work a lot with our MC, who's hosting the evening. So, she cuts in every so often when the bands take their break, and that's when we do the raffles. So I'm all over the place during Friday Fest, seeing what people are enjoying and doing, and having a little snack myself.
There you go. Well, of course you have to enjoy yourself too.
Absolutely. It's a really fun evening for us.
I was going to say, what a tough job you have. Now, aside from Friday Fest, obviously there's much more going on at the Van Wezel. What's up and coming that you can share with us?
Yeah, so we have a good portion of our fall lineup posted already that you can buy tickets to. We have a lot of comedians coming. After a couple years of COVID, we all need a good laugh.
Yes.
So, we have Jerry Seinfeld coming, Louis Black, Paul Reiser, Nikki Glazer. So we have a really great comedic lineup. We have some great bands coming too, like Foreigner. They'll be here in November. So if you check out vanwezel.org, you'll see some of the shows that are already listed and on sale. And then later this fall in September, our single ticket campaign will kick off, and we'll announce the entire season lineup that we have. Single tickets for our Broadway series will go on sale. So there's a lot of great things coming up.
Okay, and where can our viewers go to find out all that information?
So you can check out vanwezel.org, and all of the shows and ticket information is listed there. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And there are discount codes that were posted if you sign up for our e-club. So there's a lot of great ways to stay in the know with what's happening at the Van Wezel.
Okay, and one more time, the Friday Fest is when?
Friday Fest is July 15th from 5 to 9, and then we'll also have another in August and September.
Awesome. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll see you then.
All right, sounds good.
Thanks, Muffy. We hope you enjoyed the show today, and thank you for joining us on Suncoast FYI. If you would like to promote your nonprofit or community event, we would love to hear from you, and this is a complimentary service. Please call our producer, Adam Huntley, at 941-361-4645 or email fyi@snntv.com. To view previous episodes, go to snntv.com and click on the What's On tab. I'm Nancy O'Neill, and we'll see you next Friday on Suncoast FYI.